everybody. Welcome back to the Trading Post. It's me, Fred, and the main man of the show, Noodle. Tell him hi, Noodle. What are we going to do today? What are we doing on this episode? Let's tell him. We're going to do Fred Files, episode 8, right? Ghost ships. I got plenty here for you guys. We're going to touch up on some information on every one of them. All right? There's a lot of them. They range, I think, from 1700s all the way up to 2000s. So we're going to touch up on some of these. And who knows? Maybe we'll all learn a little something today, right? You know what I mean? So give me a second here. I'm going to put little man back up. I think he's still half asleep. He's tired. Tell him, Noodles. I'm still sleepy, ain't it, buddy? That's right. Yeah. Start the show. All right, you guys, give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and get back into this, all right? I'm kind of over a little bit. I don't know if I move this bowl. I don't know, move this stand here. All right. All right, we're doing Fred Files, episode 8, Ghost Ships. I hope you guys are ready for this one. A lot of interesting stuff on this, you know. I mean, honestly, in all honesty, I think we have a little bit of interesting stuff in just about every episode we do. You know, there's always something that's going to pique your interest. There's always something you can learn from, you know. Now, let's kick this off. Let's get it started. A ghost ship, also known as a phantom ship, is a vessel with no living crew aboard. It may be a fictional ghostly vessel, such as the Flying Dutchman, or a physical derelict found adrift with its crew missing or dead, like the Mary Celeste. The term is sometimes used for ships that have been decommissioned but not yet scrapped, as well as drifting boats that have been found after breaking loose of their ropes and being carried away by wind or the waves. See, that's interesting. You know, a lot of times we just group that into like a paranormal crazy thing happened, whatever, you know, unexplainable stuff. But it's not just that group. It's, you know, as they just said, it could be something that somehow got off its mooring lines or its ropes, got cut loose or something. The wind blew it away. The waves carried it away. It could be in different situations. So, give me 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to go into chronology, all right? Folklore, legends, and mythology is what we're starting with, right? So, we're going to talk about this is undated, so, okay, this one here is undated. Excuse me, pardon me. The Chasse Galerie is a haunted canoe doomed to paddle the skies of Quebec. La Chasse Galerie, also known as the Bewitched Canoe or the Flying Canoe, is a popular French-Canadian tale of lumberjacks from camps working around the Gatineau River who make a deal with the devil, a variant of the Wild Hunt. Its best-known version was written by Honoré Beaugrand, 1848 to 1906. Okay? It was published in the Century magazine in August of 1892. That's interesting. Never heard of that legend, but that's pretty cool. That'd be pretty wild seeing a flying canoe, right? Anyway, okay. This next one's undated. It's the Caliuche, is a mythical ghost ship that, according to local folklore and Chilote mythology, sails the seas around Chiloé Island in Chile at night. Also called the Enchanted Ship, the Barcoche, the Ghost Ship, the Warlock Ship, is a legendary ghost ship from Chilote mythology in southern Chile. The Calioche is also known as the Marina, the Ship of Magic, the Ship of Fire, and they are all names given to a marvelous ship of music and lights that travels along Chiloé canals. Wow, man. Okay, now certain conditions such as foggy days make it possible to sense and see the ship. Sounds of chains, parties, music, and the dominating outline of the ship make it unmistakable. For some, it is a mesmerizing sight and can pass right through other vessels. while others claim to have attended parties inside the ship, though they would have preferred it to be on land and in the company of women. For those parties, they make a deal with merchants who have daughters, and the Caliuche provides them with merchandise in exchange. Thus, the locals explain the rapid appearance of merchants who are never seen buying anything but prosper quickly. Those protected by the Caliuche generally have black hens and tarred boats with ropes of quillinea, a flower, which is a flower. The Caliuche can both disappear and take on the appearance of whatever it desires so as to not be seen. Its sailors can transform into wolves or dolphins. Another one of the ship's features is its extraordinary speed. That's a lot to take in on that one. Wow, man. Dude, that's some crazy powers, right? The crew can turn into wolves or dolphins. The ship's got extraordinary speed. It can pass through other things. What? Come on now. Come on, man. What do y'all think about this so far? Huh? All right, give me 1 second right here. I need another breather. Sorry, y'all. I need to drink. Okay, anyways, we're going to go on to the next one, right? I'm going to try to remember which ones we got to go down through here at the end to do the, I guess, assessment of each one of them. But there's so many on here, y'all. This may end up having to be broken down into two episodes. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot here. So now, let's go to the next one. It's this one's undated too. There's no specific date for this one. Okay? And as I said, this is legends, mythology, and etc. Folklore. Okay, this is the fire ship of Baie des Chaleurs. Excuse me, is a form of ghost light, an unusual visual phenomenon that appears at Bathurst, New Brunswick, Canada. The phenomenon has been said to appear as a flaming three-mast galley, much like the style ship featured on New Brunswick's provincial flag. The Baie Chaleur fire ship, more commonly known as the Chaleur Phantom or the Phantom Ship, is a form of ghost light, an unusual visual phenomenon occasionally seen in Bathurst, New Brunswick, Canada, or across the bay in New Carlisle, Quebec. It takes the form of an arc of light, usually seen before a storm. Its cause is unknown, but speculation includes rotting vegetation, undersea releases of natural gas, and St. Elmo's fire. Okay, now we're going to go into a note about St. Elmo's fire to explain this a little bit, okay? St. Elmo's fire, also called witch fire or witch's fire, is a weather phenomenon in which luminous plasma is created by a corona discharge from a rod-like object such as a mast, spire, chimney, or animal horn in an atmospheric electric field. Local accounts of the supernatural vessel claim that it is possible to hear the screams of the burning ship's passengers by submerging one's feet in the Chaleur Bay waters. Sightings are claimed to be most frequent on hot summer nights. Okay, now that was the total end of this one. Okay, the fire ship. There's some pretty badass stories in this one. Like, I don't give a damn if it's legend, if it's mythology, if it's just whatever. Even oral tradition. Now you got to take that. You got to take that with a grain of salt because. You got oral tradition, and back in the day, that's the only way they had their history. They a lot of natives, they passed it down. So, who knows how many generations of a people have actually witnessed or encountered this, standing on the shores and seeing a damn flame shoot out or a bolt of lightning shoot out of the top of a mast of a ship. You know what I mean? If I seen that, I'd freak the hell out. I'm sorry. I don't know if you would. I'm sure you probably would. You might piss your pants. But that'd be freaking me out, Like, you're not gonna. Come on now. If you got a 3-masted ship, which that's going to be a decent sized ship, right? That ain't no little dinky. It ain't no dinghy. Let's just put it that way. It ain't no lifeboat, right? But if you see a 3-masted ship and all 3 masts are going shooting lightning or fire or whatever off of it, yeah, that's going to freak me out. I'm going to say, what the hell just happened here? As you would too, I'm sure. Don't play. Don't play. You know you would. Now, all right, let's go. Let's go to the next one, all right? Now, this one's got a date, okay? It says this is 1748 onwards, forward. Okay, so the Lady Lovibond is said to have been deliberately wrecked on February 13th of 1748 off of Goodwin Sands, Kent, England, and to reappear off the Kent coast every 50 years. The Lady Lovibond is the name given to a legendary schooner that is alleged to have been wrecked on the Goodwin Sands off Kent coast of southeast England on February 13, 1748, which I just said. I don't know why it repeats itself. And is said to reappear there every 50 years as a ghost ship, which we just said. No contemporary records of the ship or its supposed sinking have been found. So there's no records of it. All right. The story goes that the ship was at sea that day because her captain, Simon Reed, had just been married and was celebrating the occasion with a cruise. That's understandable, right? You get married, you want to celebrate, right? You're happy. This is a change in your life. You're going to do that. So, according to several accounts, the ship was bound for Oporto, Portugal. Despite the long-standing superstition, despite the long-standing superstition that it was bad luck to bring a woman on board, Reed had brought his bride, Anita, with him on the ship. Okay? According to legend, the first mate, John Rivers, a rival for the hand of the captain's young wife, was pacing the decks in jealous anger. While the captain, his wife, and their guests were celebrating the marriage, below deck, the first mate was seized by a fit of jealous rage. Casually drawing a heavy club-like belaying pin from the rail, the mate walked softly up behind the crew member at the wheel and felled him to the deck with one crushing blow. Rivers then seized the wheel and steered the ship onto the treacherous Goodwin Sands, killing everyone aboard. Yeah, listen, man. This is my opinion on things, all right? How many stories, do we have of a man being jealous? Love will wreck your life or it'll build it up. Man, just use your head, right? Use your head. Don't be stupid. Don't do no dumb shit. We ain't trying to go postal and shit. We ain't trying to get crazy because you got your heart broke, man. Yeah, it sucks, dude. It drags you through the mud. When you're down, you can get back up, baby. Just remember that. When you're down, you can get back up. Don't give up. All right? Just because that one wasn't the one doesn't mean there's one waiting in the winds. You know what I mean? You're going to find it. Okay? That's just a little note from Fred right here. So let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Sorry for my rambling. But anyways, this next one is 18th century onwards. Okay? So this is a little bit later than the last one. The last one was just prior to, that. So the ghost ship of Northumberland Strait is the apparition of a burning ship that is regularly reported between Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick, Canada. Here we go with New Brunswick again. Man, you guys got a lot of haunted shit up there. I might have to take a trip up there. We're going to have to do a video on that. Y'all, put it down in the comments if you want me to go to New Brunswick, go to Canada. We're going to check some spots out. We'll do some video and all that. Yeah, you just put it down below. Let me know. Email me if you want. I don't give a shit. Do whichever one. But let me know if you're interested in it and you want me to try and do that sometime. We'll try to work it out at some point. All right. The legend of a ghost ship the legend of a ghost ship in Northumberland Strait dates back at least 200 years. Okay? And it is typically described as a beautiful schooner that has three or four masts with pure white sails, all of which are said to become completely engulfed in flames as onlookers watch. The Northumberland Strait separates Prince Edward Island from New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and according to local folklore, the ghost ship appears before a northeast wind and is a forewarning of a storm. So, let me wrap my head around this. I'm a simple hillbilly, y'all. Just give me a sec, all right? So what this is saying is, basically, it's telling you right before there's a storm coming. I mean, maybe let's just go the paranormal route. Maybe if this is if this is a ghost ship, which it's claiming that's what it is, right? That's what we're talking about. So if this is a ghost ship and it appears and disappears, whatever, but when it appears, all of a sudden the damn thing's on fire, and it seems, they wouldn't assume it's a forewarning of a storm if it wasn't the fact that happened every time before a storm happened. Okay, so let's try to make the math start mathing. Let's make 2 and 2 equal 4. You know what I mean? Let's get shit straight. So I'm assuming that maybe, if these poor people that died in this ship at some point, whenever that happened, it's sad because it seems as though they're just reliving that moment over and over. It's like they're dying over and over and over. How shitty would that be, man? I wouldn't want to go through that ever. Just do me away, man. Be done with it. I don't want to have to keep going through it, especially being burnt. No, my man. No, ain't happening. If I go through constant, perpetual situation, like a constant cycle, and I'm burning alive every damn time, no, man. No. Listen, I don't know, like, as far as it goes, it don't really quite give you a whole bunch of particulars on this damn ship at all. So we don't know when this could have happened. Like at first, like what the hell? What's the name of the ship? Don't know the name of the ship. All we know is it's a 3 or 4 masted ship, and the damn thing catches fire when it appears, and then it's like almost like it's a forewarning of a storm. These poor bastards keep dying over and over and over. That is jacked up, man. I would never want that kind of... No, man. Just let me sleep. I'll say peace out. I'll lay in a hole, man. That's sad. It breaks your heart because who knows what the hell happened? We don't really know. Okay? But let's just... Devil's advocate, okay? Let's just say that this shit happened, okay? There was a ship back in 18th century, late 1700s, whatever it was, right? The damn thing caught fire. Who knows? Who knows what the hell happened? Maybe it was a mutiny. Maybe something. We don't know, okay? And the damn thing, somehow it caught fire. And now this thing's perpetually living the same moment over and over and over and over. And all them poor bastards that was on the ship are burning alive over and over and over again, even though they're dead, but it's basically like they're reliving that moment over and over and over. How jacked is that, yo? Come on. Throw it in the comments down below. I know you won't want to deal with that. Ain't nobody in their right mind will want to deal with that. No way. All right, man. I'm sorry for the rambling, but I just got to get my points out. Sometimes it hits me. I got to let it go. Now let's go to the next one. It's 1795 onwards. Okay? The Flying Dutchman. Man. Pretty much all of us have heard of the Flying Dutchman. We don't know the story on it, maybe, but we've heard of it. Now, the Flying Dutchman is said to be a ship commanded by a captain condemned to eternally sail the seas. That'd be a shitty fate, too. It has long been the principal ghost ship legend among mariners and has inspired several works. The Flying Dutchman, or Dutch De Vliegende Hollander, is a legendary ghost ship, allegedly never able to make port, but doomed to sail the sea forever. The myths and ghost stories are likely to have originated from the 17th century golden age of the Dutch East India Company, VOC, and of Dutch maritime power. The oldest known extant version of the legend dates from the late 18th century. According to the legend, if hailed by another ship, the crew of the Flying Dutchman might try to send messages to land or to people long dead. Reported sightings in the 19th and 20th centuries claimed that the ship glowed with a ghostly light. In ocean lore, the sight of this phantom ship functions as a portent of doom. It was commonly believed that the Flying Dutchman was a 17th century cargo vessel known as Fluit, F-L-U-Y-T. I don't know how to say it. Fluit? I don't know. I mean, it depends on the language, I guess. If it's Swedish or Dutch, Fluit? I don't know. You guys tell me what it is. All right. Its captain was Willem van der Decken, according to legend. Now, that's what I got on the Flying Dutchman. I'm sorry, y'all. We got stories. If you want to look them up, you can look up stories on the Flying Dutchman. You know, or if you wanted me to do an episode on individual ones, let me know if there's certain ones that intrigue you. You know, I can try and dig deeper, but my God, I had so many on this one. I'm just going down the list trying to touch up on these, all right? So this is kind of a light touch up on some of these. Some of them go into a little bit more detail. It depends on what information I can pull up. All right, so let's go to the next one. 19th century onwards. The Princess Augusta, misremembered in local folklore as the Palatine, was wrecked near Block Island, Rhode Island, in the U.S. in 1738. Since then, an apparition known as the Palatine Light has been reported. And that's literally all I got on that one, y'all. I'm sorry. I know there's some light ones in here. There's some heavy ones, too. So I'm already at, 21 minutes on this. We got a long ways to go, y'all. Trust me. It's going to be several episodes, I'm sure. So 1813 onwards is the next one. After the American schooner Young Teaser was sunk in an explosion in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, Canada, during the War of 1812, a burning apparition known as the Teaser Light has been reported. And that's all it says on that one. Okay, I might be able to break episodes out and try to get more information on these. I don't know, but if you want them, let me know, okay? If there's certain ones that intrigue you, put it in the comments. Send me an email if you want, you know? I just want to know, you know, if that way, if I know you're interested in it, we'll do it. But otherwise, I'm going to keep going on doing my thing, right? So let's go to 1858 onwards. The Eliza Battle was a paddle steamer that burned in 1858 on the Tombigbee River, Alabama, U.S. She is reported to reappear fully aflame on cold, windy winter nights to foretell of impending disaster. Why is it always got to be disaster with these, man? Huh? I don't get it. I just don't get it, y'all. Anyways, let's go to the next one. 1872 or 1882. They're evidently conflicted about that date. I don't know how the hell you got a 10-year gap, but whatever. A legend states that the Iron Mountain mysteriously disappeared in 1872 and left barges it was towing floating down the river. In reality, the ship ran aground and sank north of Vicksburg, Mississippi in the U.S. in 1882, and its destruction was never mysterious. So if it wasn't mysterious, why the hell is it on the ghost ship? Well, I don't know. I might have to look into that one. That's kind of curious. I don't know. It makes me think about that one. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. We got so many to cover, y'all. 1878 onward, an apparition of HMS Eurydice has been reported where the ship sank in 1878 off the Isle of Wight English Channel, or off the Isle of Wight English Channel. Witnesses include a Royal Navy submarine in the 1930s and Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, in 1998. Okay, that's a short. Why are these so short, some of them? Man. All right, 1886. Well, if they were all long, we'd really be screwed. 1886, the Phantom Canoe of Lake Rotomahana was a Waka Wairua, or a spirit canoe, in Lake Rotomahana, New Zealand, seen 11 days before the deadly eruption of the nearby Mount Tarawera, which devastated the lake and the surrounding area. I've never even heard of that. I mean, I guess it's because it is 1800s. I mean, I guess we wouldn't have heard of that unless we were looking into history and stuff, right? So, okay, next one is 1895. A spectral galleon was allegedly seen in Chapel Cove, Newfoundland. According to folklore, pirates supposedly buried riches in Chapel Grove, and it is said that those who have gone in search of the treasure have either observed the appearance of the phantom ship or have encountered apparitions on land. Well, that'd be a wild treasure to chase after, huh? At least you get to see a ghost ship. What? Ha! Sign me up, baby. Let's go. Anyhow, let's go to the next one. 1902, the SS Bannockburn vanished on Lake Superior on November 21st, 1902, and subsequently gained a reputation as the Flying Dutchman of the Great Lakes. Was a Canadian registered steel-hulled freighter that disappeared on Lake Superior in snowy weather on May 21st, 1902. She was sighted by the captain of a passing vessel, the SS Algonquin, around noon of that day, but minutes later disappeared. The wreck of the ship never been found, in the exception of an oar and a life preserver, and no bodies were ever recovered. Come on, man. Wow. Only an oar and a life preserver was found. No bodies recovered. Didn't find the ship. You know, sometimes it makes you wonder, how the hell can you not find a ship? Especially, like, even one, like some of these huge ones, like, they're massive. Like, I get it. If you're out on the open water, there's so many nautical miles of ocean. It's astronomical. It's no wonder they lose them. But goddamn it, come on. Lake Superior, it's a big lake. I give you that, right? But it's a fucking lake, right? Come on, man. With all the resource, well, I guess, let me step back for a minute. Okay. I guess back when it happened, what was the date on that again? 1902. Okay, so 1902, it's understandable. They didn't have the technology we do right now to try to search and rescue and do all that stuff. So, I guess that is understandable. Okay, the damn ship sunk. It went to the bottom of the lake, whatever. They didn't find nothing. They found the oar and the life preserver. What the hell happened out there? Now, we're going to do an episode on the Lake Michigan Triangle. We're also going to do one, like, I think that may run into the Great Lakes. We may just combine it, or I may just do a separate one. But Lake Michigan, I know they have a lot of paranormal stories there. You know, I'm as a matter of fact, years ago, my dad used to work on the Great Lakes, Merchant Marines, and I remember him telling me a couple stories. There's some wild shit over there, but we're going to cover it. You know, and if you guys are really intrigued and interested, throw it down below. Let me know what your opinions are, what you want to hear about. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I'm here to give you guys what you want. It ain't about what I want, but I'm going to do what I want till I hear otherwise, right? So let's go on to the next one because I'm dragging it off. I'm sorry, but I love bullshitting what you got. Okay, 1906. Following the wreck of the SS Valencia in 1906 off the coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, there were reports of a lifeboat with 8 skeletons in a nearby sea cave. Lifeboats being rowed by skeletons of the Valencia's victims. The shape of Valencia within the black exhaust emanating from the rescue ship. City of Topeka's funnel, and a phantom ship resembling the Valencia, with waves washing over her as human figures held onto the ship's rigging. Sailors also reported seeing the ship itself in the area in the years following the sinking, often as an apparition that followed down the coast. One of the lifeboats from Valencia was found adrift in 1933. That's a long time after, y'all. Shit, it sunk in 1906 and they found another lifeboat in 1933. God damn, man. Come on. Woo. There's some creepy shit on here, man. November 22nd, 1912. Let's go to the next one. The Rouse Simmons, heavily laden with over 3,000 Christmas trees in its cargo hold and piled high on deck, set sail from Thompson, Michigan for Chicago. The following day, it disappeared without a trace. For years afterward, Lake Michigan mariners claimed to have spotted the Christmas tree ship appearing out of nowhere with its sails in tatters. That's really all it's got on that one. Sorry, but that's an interesting one. That's sad, yo. You know, they're trying to bring them Christmas trees to people, you know, for Christmas. And damn, they didn't sink, man. Sad. My heart goes out to all the people that was lost. You know, all the people buried at sea. You know, it's sad. Let's go to this next one. 1928. The Copenhagen was last heard from on December 28, 1928. For 2 years following its disappearance, sightings of a mysterious 5-masted ship fitting its description were reported in the Pacific Ocean. Wow. That's a massive ship, dude. That's 5 masts. Think about that. Now, in the beginning, you're going to see all these different ships that I'm talking about, right? Not every one of them, but whatever I could put in there. If I put every one of them in there, god dang, we'd have an intro of 5-10 minutes, right? I ain't doing all that, no. But I'm going to do all I can to give you a little interesting stuff on here. So, but, man, how do we explain this? Let's be devil's advocate. Let's sit here and talk about this shit. Let's try to debunk this, right? Okay, you got witnesses that witnessed a ghost ship sighting well into several years after the actual sinking of the ship. How do you explain that? Is this, how do I put that? I don't know what the right terminology is. This residual memory, like a playback of what had happened or prior to it happening, that we're seeing when we see this stuff? Or are we delirious? Are we just thinking we're seeing something that we're not? Is it, I don't know what the hell they call it, that phenomena or whatever they call it, where you think you see something you don't. I can't remember the damn name of it. But anyways, what do you guys think? What do you all think? Is that what it is? Or are we just seeing shit that we not really seeing? Or are we actually seeing something that's a phenomenon? That's just like a replay of time, like a loop. Is that what's going on? What do you think? Let me and Noodle know. We want to know. Anyways, let's go to the next one. Now these are called the unsubstantiated ones, right? So this was going to go 1775. The Octavius, Let me say it more clear so you understand. An English trading ship returning from China was supposedly found drifting off the coast of Greenland. The captain's log showed that the ship had attempted the Northwest Passage, which at the time had never been successfully traversed. The ship and the bodies of her frozen crew, apparently, completed the passage after drifting amongst the pack ice for 13 years. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 13 years? Them poor souls was frozen to death for 13 years in pack ice. And finally, wow. There ain't, man, I don't even know I don't even know what to say, man. I'm like beside myself. Somebody's like, it breaks your heart hearing this shit. You know what I mean? It really does. But anyways, let's go ahead. I got a note right here. Okay, the note. And this is about the Northwest Passage, y'all. The Northwest Passage is the sea lane between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Arctic Ocean along the northern coast of North America via waterways through the Arctic archipelago of Canada. So that's the strip that we're talking about. So that gives you a little bit of understanding as to where they were and what it like how it happened. It kind of gives you a little perspective to it, right? So now let's go. The next one is 1811 to 1813 is roughly the time. I guess they're spotting on it. Napoleon Gallois reported that a French frigate had found the French privateer Duc de Danzig drifting, covered in blood with the decaying corpses of the crew hacked and crucified to her masts and in the battery. Bloody papers identified Duc de Danzig and her master, Francois Aragnel. More soberly, the ship's register of the Maritime Archives states Duc de Danzig, unheard of as of 1813, presumed lost with all hands. That one was a little confusing to me, but that's a hell of a sight to find, man. Think about being the people that find this shit. Okay, you find a ship that's just drifting. It's covered in blood with the decaying corpses, and the crew's hacked and crucified to the masts of the ship. That's a freaking horror movie in itself, man. What the hell happened? What happened there? Was it like a mutiny type situation? That's what I would assume, because if it's that vile of an act that has been done to these people, that's what I'm going to assume. It was like a mutiny. There was something that happened here. Somebody wasn't happy. One of the crew members, who gives a shit? Somebody. And then they something happened. Something happened there. That's pretty jacked up, man. It's jacked up. All right, let's go to the next one. 1840, the schooner Jenny was supposedly discovered after spending 17 years frozen in an ice barrier of the Drake Passage. This one was even longer, y'all. Like 4 years longer in ice. What? Found by Captain Brighton of the whaler Hope, it had been locked in the ice since 1823. The last port of call having been Lima, Peru. The bodies of 7 people aboard, including 1 woman and a dog. Oh man, that breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. And a dog, preserved by the Antarctic cold, were buried at sea by the crew of the Hope, and Brighton passed the account on to the Admiralty in London. The Jenny is commemorated by the Jenny Buttress, a feature on King George Island near Melville Peak, named by the UK Antarctic Place Names Committee in 1960. Man. Now, here's a note for you, just like the last one. The Drake Passage is the body of water between South America's Cape Horn, Chile, Argentina, and the South Shetland Islands of Antarctica. See, we're learning a little bit of geography too, y'all. We're going to learn about some paranormal shit and some history shit. What do you think about that? We do it all up in this place. Yes, indeed, we do. Noodle knows what we want. Noodle knows what all y'all want. He sets this up. He's the boss around here. Let's go. October 27th, 1913. The Singapore newspaper, the Straits Times, published a story according to which the Marlborough had been discovered near Cape Horn with the skeletons of her crew on board. The Straits Times attributed the story to one published in the London paper, the Evening Standard, on October 3rd, 1913. The Evening Standard mentioned that the story was based on an account cabled from New Zealand, which was yet to be confirmed. The ship that sighted the Marlborough in 1913 was said to be the sailing ship Johnson. Okay, so they're saying that basically these newspapers, they went out and started printing these damn stories, and they hadn't confirmed that the cable or the call was correct. They didn't verify the shit before they printed it, is what happened. So we could take this with a grain of salt. Is this true? Is it not true? I guess it's going to go on our opinion as far as that goes. What we want to believe and what we don't. You know, there really isn't much other information on that besides that. Now let's go to the next one. A lot of you have probably heard of this one. It's fairly popular story for the most part, but it's like an urban legend. 1947. Wow, we really jumped. The Orang Medan is said to have been found adrift off Indonesia with all of its crew dead. The boarding party found the entire crew frozen, teeth baring, gaping at the sun. Before the ship could be towed to a home port, it exploded and sank. There is no record that a ship of this name ever existed, and it is believed to be an urban legend. Now, we're going to play both sides here, right? Okay, it is said that it's believed that it never existed. Okay, never existed. They can't find the files on it. They can't find any existence of the ship. But let me tell you this. Just because they can't find that does not mean that that ship did not exist. Because you have pirates, you have people of, let's just say, questionable profession that don't want to be known. That stuff like that may just not be in the records, per se. So you take it for what you want and think what you want. Is it true? I don't know. Is it false? I don't know. I really don't. But you come to your conclusion. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? Now, we're getting up into newer times now. We're getting, well, on this one anyways, 2014 we're jumping to. Good God, that's a jump. At least 243 refugees disappeared without a trace in the summer of 2014. A human trafficker who arranged a journey to Europe for the refugees claimed that the people were scheduled to depart from Combs, Libya, but the ship that they would have departed on was never named, and no sign of a ship or the refugees has ever been found. This incident is known as the Ghost Boat Investigation. You can look it up if you want. None of the missing people have contacted their family members, and there are no bodies found or wreckage of any kind. One theory is that a people smuggling boat off the coast of Libya intended to sail to Italy, disappearing without a trace. A lack of wreckage is highly unusual for such a large watercraft. Right? Now, let's go to the next one. let you stew on that one for a minute. That's a lot of people missing, y'all. Nobody's washed up, no parts, no wreckage, no nothing. Almost 300 people, damn near. How do you explain that? How do you explain it? Okay, let's go through scenarios. Could it have been pirates? Pirates come over, they freaking blew up the damn ship, sunk it, and they took all the passengers, right? To do whatever. I'm not going into details about that. That's theorizing too much. I ain't doing it. That's one theory. Another is there could have been some kind of a catastrophe on the ship that caused it to explode, whatever. But let's get into this. If there was an explosion, wreckage would be found, right? Let's go into another theory. Maybe the UFOs beamed them up. Who the hell knows? How in the hell is a huge ship that big gone? No wreckage, nobody, no bodies, no nothing. Did they accidentally like maybe sail through a multi-dimensional portal somewhere on the sea? Maybe that could be what's going on, y'all. We don't know. Maybe it's like a wormhole or some shit. They sail right in it and there you go. In another dimension. Whatever. We can't say yes or no. We don't know this shit. We have no idea. That's why we bring this up, because we're speculating, right? We come to our own conclusions. You're going to come to yours. I'm going to come to mine, right? So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's come to our conclusion. Now, this is the next ones. These ones here are a little bit more interesting or intriguing, I guess you could say the least. These are historically attested. Okay, so there's backing to these. The other ones didn't have so much. 1750 or 1760, the schooner vessel Seabird. This merchant brig, under the command of John Huxham or Durham, grounded herself at Easton's Beach, Rhode Island. Her longboat was missing. She had been returning from a voyage to Honduras and was expected in Newport that day. The ship was apparently abandoned in sight of land. Coffee was boiling on the galley stove still and drifted off course is what happened. The only living creatures found on the ship were a dog and a cat. Well, at least they was alive, right? They rescued them. That's good. It's sad for the other people, you know. But a fictional account of how she became derelict appeared in the Wilmington, Delaware newspaper Sunday Morning Star for October 11th, 1855. If you care to look this stuff up, you can look it up. That's why I bring this up to you, so you all can figure this stuff out. Okay? May 15th, 1854. HMS Resolute was a barquette-rigged ship of the British Royal Navy that was abandoned after being beset by ice in Viscount Melville Sound, Canada. She had been one of the 4 vessels from Edward Belcher's search expedition of John Franklin. The ship drifted some 1,200 miles or 1,900 kilometers before it was found on September 10th, 1855 off the coast of Baffin Island, Canada, freed from the ice. The Resolute desk, which was constructed from the timbers of the ship, resides today in the Oval Office of the White House, which explains why I got a picture of Barack Obama sitting behind the Resolute desk. So now you know. November 25th, 1872, the schooner vessel Mary Celeste, after passing Santa Maria Island in the Azores on November 25th, 1872, which was the last entry on the ship's slate, the merchant brigantine became derelict in unknown circumstances. No boats were found on board. She was found December 4th, 1872, between Portugal and the Azores archipelago. Now, the ship was devoid of all crew, but largely intact and under sail, heading toward the Strait of Gibraltar. Arthur Conan Doyle's story, J. Habakkuk Jeffson's statement, is based on this incident. Doyle alters certain aspects of the original story, including the name of the ship from Mary to Marie Celeste. So there you go. There's a little bit of backing behind that. Let's go to the next one. August 29th, 1884, the schooner vessel Resolven. This merchant brig was found abandoned between Bacalao Island, and Catalina, Newfoundland and Labrador. Her boats were missing. Her logbook was posted to within 6 hours of being sighted. Other than a broken yard, she had suffered minimal damage. The galley fire was alight and the lamps were burning. A large iceberg was sighted nearby. It was claimed that none of the 7 crew members or 4 passengers were accustomed to northern waters, and it was suggested that they panicked when the ship was damaged by ice. They landed the lifeboat and swamped, though no bodies were found. 3 years later, Resolven was wrecked while returning to Newfoundland from Nova Scotia with a load of lumber. Bad luck on that one, man. That's bad. Okay, 1885, the schooner vessel, the 21 Friends. This 3-masted tern, or schooner, was built in 1872. She was financed by a group of 21 Philadelphia Quakers and consequently named the 21 Friends. In 1885, returning to Philadelphia with a full load of lumber from Brunswick, Georgia, the ship was rammed by the John D. May off the coast of Cape Hatteras. Captain Jeffries removed his crew and abandoned the vessel. The ship and cargo were left to the mercy of the sea. Captain Jeffries' concern for the safety of his crew was appropriate. However, the gas-kill-made ship proved herself to be more seaworthy than expected. After the collision, the ship was sighted on both sides of the Atlantic over the next 2 years. She finally came ashore in Ireland, where her cargo was salvaged and she was employed as a fishing vessel. No shit. That's cool. Man, that's 2 years that damn thing kept going. They thought it was going to be sinking. Whew, man, some of these boats are tough, man. 1897, the abandoned whaler Young Phoenix was reported to have been drifting in the Arctic. That's legitimately all they give me. That's bullshit. That's all they give me. Now, January 22nd, 1906, the SS Valencia's lifeboat number 5. The lifeboat went adrift when the ship sank off the coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. The lifeboat was found floating in Barclay Sound, Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, in remarkably good condition. 27 years after the sinking. Are you shitting me? A lifeboat survived. Listen, grasp this. A lifeboat survived 27 freaking years floating, just random ass floating, right? And still in remarkably good condition. How the hell does that happen? You got big boats that's going to crash into rock ledges and shit. This little dinky little lifeboat survived almost 30 years of sailing. Oh my God, dude. That's insane, man. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Let's go to the next one, all right? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm amazed at this stuff. It's crazy. October 1917. Okay, the schooner vessel Sabrina, this sailing barge departed Falmouth, Cornwall, England, with a cargo of Swansea coal bound for St. Brieuc, France. 2 days later, she was discovered aground on Roselle Point, south of Cherbourg, France, without damage except for some disarrangement of her rigging, but with her crew missing. That's another one. Got the whole crew missing. The ship's there. Crew's missing. I don't know, man. There's something going on here. In January 1921, the schooner vessel Carroll A. Deering, after passing Cape Lookout Lightship, North Carolina, on January 28, 1921, the Carroll A. Deering, a 5-masted cargo schooner, became derelict in unknown circumstances. The ship's lifeboats and logbook were missing when she was found on January 31st, 1921 at the Diamond Shoals off the coast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Here we go with Cape Hatteras, y'all. Listen, it's recurring shit going on here. Pay attention, you know. Maybe you might find clues into this. I don't know. let's finish it. The final voyage of the ship has been subject of much debate and controversy and was investigated by 6 departments of the U.S. government, largely because it was one of dozens of ships that sank or went missing within a relatively short period of time. While paranormal explanations have been advanced, the theories of mutiny or piracy are considered more likely. What do you guys think? Piracy, paranormal. Piracy, paranormal. It's going to be bouncing back and forth, baby. It's like playing ping pong over here. October 3rd, 1923, the schooner vessel Governor Parr, okay, is the next one. This 4-masted schooner was abandoned by her crew after she lost her mizzen. And spanker in a storm while sailing from Ingramport, Nova Scotia, Canada to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Now listen, shame on you if you're laughing about spanker. Okay, knock it off. That's the name of something on the ship, all right? The damage incurred by Governor Parr was significant to the masts and deck of the ship. However, she did not sink. Several attempts were made to either destroy or tow this derelict to shore, but all failed. Governor Parr was cited for many years after her abandonment as she covered large spans of the Atlantic Ocean. She remained a derelict and a menace to navigation, drifting as far as the Canary Islands. It is unknown what happened to her in the end. Hell, she might still be out there floating, you know what I mean? That's a big ship too, 4-masted ship. That's a nice size ship. I mean, if you get three-masted ships, is a nice size. 3, 4, 5, you getting into 4 and 5-masted ship, that's big ships. All right, so let's go. November 24th, 1931, the SS Bechimo. This cargo steamer was abandoned after being trapped in pack ice near Barrow, Alaska, and being thought doomed to sink. However, she remained afloat and was sighted at various times between 1931 and 1969 in the Chukchi Sea of the northwestern Alaskan coast without ever being salvaged. She was sighted numerous times, still unmanned and adrift, for nearly 40 years. Holy shit, that's the longest one so far, ain't it? I think 40 years. People managed to board her several times, but each time they were either unequipped to salvage her or were driven away by bad weather. What just wasn't meant to be, huh? Just wasn't meant to be. Old Bechimo was meant to go. Keep moving. Now, this would make her one of the longest sailing ghost ships in the world. Check that out, y'all. That's a record. That's a world record for a ghost ship right there. 40 years. The hell out of here. How's it still going? It ain't crashed. That's insane. Ain't run aground. Nothing. Come on now. It just goes to show you, maybe you shouldn't even have a captain on a ship. Maybe you should just, hey, take your hands off the wheel, right? What's that song? Jesus, take the wheel? Take your hands off. Let it go. Let it go. Maybe you won't run aground like most other people do. Anyways, let's go to the next one. October 3rd, 1955. The MV Joyita? After leaving Apia, Samoa, the refrigerated trading and fishing charter boat, Joyita, became derelict in unknown circumstances. The ship's dinghy and 3 Carly life rafts were missing, and her logbook was also missing. When she was found on November 10th, 1955, north of Vanua Levu, Fiji, a subsequent inquiry found the vessel was in a poor state of repair, but determined the fate of passengers and crew to be inexplicable on the evidence submitted at inquiry. Well, there's a lot of unexplainable shit in this world, that's for sure. Okay, let's go to 1959. The Royal Navy submarine HMS Virulent, lent to the Hellenic Navy in 1946, was found empty in the Bay of Biscay off northern Spain. It subsequently became clear that she had been under tow by another vessel and that the chain had snapped some 3 weeks earlier. Let's go to the next one. July 1st, 1969. The SV Teignmouth Electron, After the last entry in her log was made on July 1st, 1969, the Timuran yacht became derelict in unknown circumstances. The vessel was found on July 10th, 1969 in the North Atlantic, latitude 33 degrees 11 minutes north and longitude 40 degrees 26 minutes west. Investigation led to the conclusion that its sole crew member, Donald Crowhurst, had suffered a mental breakdown while competing in a solo around-the-world race and committed suicide by jumping overboard. So that's their reasoning for his disappearance. Is that what happened? Who the hell knows? I don't know. What do you think? 1975, the SV Ocean Wave. Now, Boss Jan Adder was lost at sea while attempting a single-handed west-east crossing of the Atlantic in a 13-foot-long or 4-meter pocket cruiser, a modified Guppy 13 named Ocean Wave. The passage was part of an art performance titled In Search of the Miraculous. Radio contact broke off 3 weeks into the voyage, and Adder was presumed lost at sea. The boat was found after 10 months floating partially submerged 150 miles or 240 kilometers west-southwest of the coast of Ireland. His body was never found. The boat, after being recovered by the Spanish fishing vessel that found it, was taken to Corunna. The boat was later stolen. Adder's mother wrote the poem From the Deep Waters of Sleep after having what she described as a premonition of his death. Now that's sad, man. That's sad. They're all sad. I mean, you don't want nobody dying. Listen, we're going to get into the new modern stuff, okay? And I think what I'm going to do is I might just break this down to the modern stuff for the next episode. It'll be a little shorter. Well, no, you know what? Let's just continue it. March 24, 2006, the MT Gienseng was found drifting 180 kilometers or 110 miles southwest of Waipa, Queensland, Australia. The ship's origin or owner could not be determined, and its engines had been inoperable for some time. Now, August 24, 2006, the Bellamica, a classic schooner, was found derelict near Punta Volpe, Sardinia, Italy. The owner later claimed to have gone home on August 14, 2006 to address an emergency. The Italian press suggested that he may have been avoiding taxation of luxury vessels. The Coast Guard crew that discovered the ship found half-eaten Egyptian meals, French maps of North African seas, and a flag of Luxembourg on board. Now, April 18th, 2007, the schooner vessel Kaz 2, a 12-meter long, 39-foot catamaran, set sail on April 15th, 2007. She was filmed crossing George Point, Hinchinbrook Island, Queensland, later that day, and on that same day, late in the afternoon, the GPS data showed her to be adrift. She was found adrift on April 18, 2007 near the Great Barrier Reef, 88 nautical miles or 163 kilometers off Townsville, Queensland, Australia. When boarded on April 20th, the engine was running, a laptop was running, the radio and GPS were working, and a meal was set to eat, but the three-man crew were not on board. All the sails were up, but one was badly shredded, while 3 life jackets and survival equipment, including an emergency beacon, were found on board. A search for the crew was abandoned on April 22nd as it was considered unlikely that anyone could have survived for that period of time. The coroner believed that the men may have fallen overboard. Okay, that's usually a quick, easy thing instead of doing the full investigation or whatever, but that's my opinion, whatever. Okay, October 2008, the MV Taiching 21. The last radio transmission from the Taiching 21, a fishing vessel, was made on October 28, 2008. The boat was found empty on November 9, 2008, near Kiribati. Its lifeboat and 3 life rafts were missing. The abandoned 50-ton Taiwanese vessel had been gutted by fire several days previously. No Mayday call was received. A search of 21,000 square miles or 54,000 kilometers squared of the Pacific Ocean north of Fiji by the U.S. Air Force C-130 Hercules and a New Zealand Air Force P-3 Orion found no trace of the Taiwanese captain Yanjing Gang or crew, 18 Chinese, 6 Indonesian, and 4 Filipinos. So there was didn't find nothing. That was a hell of a big search right there. That's a big search. January 2009, the SV Lunatic. In December 2007, at age 70, Yuri Sturk started a journey to sail around the world on his boat, Lunatic. He used his amateur radio to communicate and was last heard from on January 1st, 2009. His sailboat, Lunatic, was spotted on January 26, approximately 1,000 nautical miles or 1,900 kilometers off the coast of Australia. The boat appeared damaged and there was no sign of Yuri Sturk on deck. 3 months later, on April 30th, 2009, the sailboat was found adrift by the crew of the science vessel RV Roger Revell, 500 miles or 800 kilometers southeast at 32 degrees, 18 minutes south, or 91 degrees, 7 minutes east. The sails were torn and there was no one on board. After boarding, they found that the last log entry had been made on January 2nd, 2009. Okay, that's cool. Cool as can be, right? Cool beans. Oh, shit. What did I do that for? I'm going to get myself confused. March 20th, 2012, the MV Rio Unmaru, a fishing vessel, was washed away from its mooring in Aomori Prefecture, Japan, during the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. It was assumed sunk with no crew aboard, but a year later it was found drifting about 150 nautical miles or 280 kilometers or 170 miles off the coast of Haida Gwaii, British Columbia, Canada. The United States Coast Guard sank it with 25 millimeter cannon fire on April 5th, 2012. That would be a badass job, dude. Getting to fire them big ass cannons just to sink a ship. Man, I'd love to do that. Just unload. Bap, 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 bap. Watch that sucker sink, right? That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Lucky bastard. Anyways, let's go on. June 19th to 20th, 2012. The TT Zion, a private yacht, was grounded on Fort Lauderdale Beach around 1:15 a.m. on June 20th. With its navigation lights on and engines still running, the vessel appeared seaworthy, but a broken tie bar could have caused steering problems. Items belonging to the owner, Guma Aguiar, were found on board, but no sign of him or any other passengers was found. Now, that's crazy. February 2013, well, let's keep going. The MV Lyubov Orlova, a former Soviet cruise ship, was being towed to a scrapyard in the Caribbean when a cable snapped, setting her adrift in international waters. One day after leaving St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, on February 4th, 2013, she was found approximately 250 nautical miles or 460 kilometers or 290 miles east of St. John's, approximately 50 nautical miles, 93 kilometers or 58 miles outside Canada's territorial waters, and drifting in a northeasterly direction. The crew did not pursue the vessel due to safety concerns. Some new reports claimed it was adrift and populated with cannibal rats. That'd be a hell of a note if he was on that thing and the cannibal rats get in. I don't know. Man, that's freaky. I don't know. Anyways, let's go to this here. We're going to finish up right quick, okay? Sorry, I know it was a long one. I told you. Thought I was going to break it down into two, but I crammed it down into one, y'all, because I'm awesome. Not as awesome as Noodle, but I'm getting there, right? I'm working on it, you know? Okay, 2011 and ongoing is the date for this one. Every year, the remains of dozens of ghost ships reach Japanese waters. The ships are typically ill-equipped small wooden boats believed to be fishing for North Korea. Some boats were found empty, but at least 25 people have been found in advanced states of decomposition, probably dead from starvation or exposure. At least some of the crewed fishing vessels are believed to be owned and operated by the Korean People's Army. I don't get that. I'm not going to get into that conspiracy right there. We can talk about that later if you want to. But that's a crazy fact. They have a lot of boats washing up on their shores with dead people on them. I'm going to tell you right now, that would really jack somebody up. You know? You see a damn boat drifted and you think, hey, you know, maybe someone needs some help. You come walking up there and you see a decomposed corpse, looks like a damn mummy. That would jack your head up for a minute, man. I'm sorry, but I know it would. That's not an easy thing. I don't care how hardcore you think you are and you think you can handle it. No. No. Homie, you ain't handling shit. You think you will. Wait till the shit happens. That's it. January 13th, 2016. Let's go to the next one. The Seiyu, Manfred Fritz, Bagurat of Germany, was found dead in his private yacht, which was adrift in the Philippine Sea. His mummified body was found slumped on a desk by crew from the racing yacht Elmax Exchange. The yacht was rediscovered on February 25th, 2016. An autopsy found Bagurat had died of a heart attack approximately 1 week before being found, and sea conditions preserved his body. That's crazy. Sorry about the hiccups there, you guys. Anyways, February 2020, the MV Alta ran aground near Ballycotton, County Cork, on the coast of Ireland during Storm Dennis. It had previously been encountered adrift and unmanned in the mid-Atlantic by HMS Protector, having been adrift since 2018 after it became disabled, and an operation by the U.S. Coast Guard rescued its crew. Well, that's good. That one's crew made it out. That's freaking awesome. The damn ship, they probably couldn't destroy the damn ship. It just kept drifting for another 2 years. That's insane, man. I haven't been out on the ocean, like deep ocean or any shit like that. But I'm going to tell you what, if I ever was on a boat and I was on a ship out in the middle of fucking nowhere, millions of miles from anything, all you can see around you is fucking water, and you got a damn boat or ship that comes up by you, and you find out there's nobody on this damn ship, and you're like, whoa, what do you do at that point? What would you do? Put it down in the comments. What would you do? How would you feel? Would you freak out? Would you know what to do? Come on, put it down below. Let me know. Anyways, let's go to the last. This is the very last one, you guys, and then we're going to cut it, right? So January 2021. That's the most recent one. The Yong Yu Sing, number 18, was discovered adrift near Midway Island with all crew and a lifeboat missing, and with damage from what appeared to be a collision. And that's legitly all they're telling me. They ain't saying shit. This is what it is, y'all. This is what it is. Anywho, that's pretty damn wild stuff right there. You know, I had other notes that I initially started writing, but I wrote these ones instead. So, if you want, I don't know. They're just kind of like scribbly. I don't know. I already talked about SS Big Chimo. Keeps returning. See, and here's what it is. Some of that stuff, like 1931, disappeared, but then keeps reappearing. The fur trade, Hudson's Bay Company, ran in the Arctic ice flow, called abandoned ship, northern tip of Triangle, $1 million in furs. Crew got to shore, camped into issue. Snowstorm, crew snowed in. Found that the ship vanished, couldn't have sunk through ice, and couldn't have floated away. 1932, Leslie Melvin boarded, but no signs on radar. Always see it, but it never is reached. Native people say it's a spirit in between spirit worlds or world of reality. Okay. Octavius, British ship, 1700s, trading left China, attempted Northwest Passage. Why, no one knows. Found drifting off coast on Greenland, which we already went through all this shit here. But, you know, here's the thing. Like, let's just say, okay, for the Octavius. But yet it reappears to others from time to time. Usually ships are destroyed within a year. Octavius, seen for another 13 years. Bechimo was seen for another 38 years, roughly 40. Is it a curse put on them by natives for mass killing for the fur trade? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that's going on as far as the paranormal? Could it be a curse put on them, a hex or something? You know, I mean, shit, we got all kind of different stuff. You know, we can talk about all kind of different stuff, man. all kind of different stuff. So you all let me know in the comments. Email me, however you want to get a hold of me. Me and Noodle's waiting for your reply. We want to know what you guys think about this. This stuff just blows your top. Because there's a lot in there. And I tried covering as many as I could for y'all. You know, I try to cram what I can in there. I get you what I can. Now, if there's any in particular you want me to cover in more in-depth, by any means, throw it in there. Like I said, email me if you're more personal. You don't want people seeing what you have to say. Just email me. Okay? I'll gladly answer. I'll gladly reply. And we can work on that. Man, we can get an episode going. Okay? If you have recommendations of subjects you want me to talk about, of any kind, it doesn't have to particularly be any of these specific ghost ships you want me to jump into, or it could be anything. All right? Any type of particular subject. I mean, for instance, if you want me to talk about the Miami Mall aliens situation, right? Which I plan on doing. I haven't done it yet, but we'll talk about that. We'll do, I don't know. We can talk about Mount Hayes. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. Government projects and all this shit. I got a lot of stuff in mind. I just can't keep up with it because I work a full-time job. This ain't the only thing I'm doing. You understand? So when I got time, I do what I can for you guys. I try to put out a decent quality of stuff here. I'm growing, so give me credit. I'm growing. I'm trying to learn and get better at this. Right? But anyways, you know, you guys check some of my stuff out on the channel if you ain't seen it. All right? We'd appreciate it. And like we always say here on the Trading Post, we don't judge nobody. Ain't no judgment here. Okay? Find your truth. And as we always say, live, laugh, and love. Because tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. So you have a good one. And we'll see you on the next one.